I'd like to welcome you folks today to Rick's Garage. We got a couple classic Buicks here that we're going to show you how to clean your batteries. This is the 59, and we're going to take care of the battery today on a 1956. Check this out. Okay, so here's the before picture. You can see the battery terminals. We're going to clean them all up, get them ready to go. Okay, first thing is get your tools handy. And I got to find the correct size to take the terminal out. There we go. So I'm just going to loosen both terminals. Okay, so that should be loose enough. Now you probably are not going to be able to just pull these cables off. I'll give it a shot. Oh, there you go. So this guy comes right off. That's good. This little device here, it's a terminal puller, and if you do this, this little shaft backs up, and these two claws here on either side, are you going to put them underneath the cable connector, and then I'm going to screw down the center shaft. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put this right under here. Okay, then I'm going to kind of squeeze them together. Okay, then I'm going to tighten this up. You can't see too well, but I'm going to get that little circular thing right on top. Okay, just by tightening these. And if I've done it right, it's going to pick it right up. There you go.
Magic.
So that is magic. And it's good to have one of these, because if you start beating on those posts, you could actually break them if they're sensitive to that. So we get this out. Okay, so there you go. Now the next thing I want to do is to check the fluid in these batteries. Let's do this one under here. So you just want to pry it up. Flip it over. Be careful you don't get dirt in there. So what we're doing here is checking the acid that levels in there. So if I can see fluid, you're good. So I'm going to top them off just a little bit. Okay. So these are good to have. A little squirt bottle. And distilled water is best. So I'm just going to fill each one up a little bit more. All right, let's take a look down in there. Yeah, these definitely need a little topping off. You want to cover the plates that are down in the battery. There's a little opening. You can see that the hole opens. And I don't know, we need a place you're not in the shade there.
It looks like a lot.
There's actually sulfuric acid in here, but we're not going to pour more acid in. This water's fine. Okay, let me get this guy. I think he's a little bit more. Okay, so cameraman, go ahead and take a look in to see the depth that we're talking about. So you want, you don't want to fill it up to the top. You don't want to fill it up to the top, but you want to definitely get it about, what's that, look, about a ½ inch below. So let's go ahead and kind of clean this up a bit. Okay, this is just battery maintenance. And we'll put the caps back on. Now a lot of modern batteries, you don't have to do this to. They're sealed, and you won't need to get into them at all, but you need to check on that. Okay, and then I'll just clean some of this up here. Okay, so that's page 1. Next thing we're going to do is going to get this little cleaner. So let's take a look at this if people aren't familiar with that. It's a little battery cleaning brush, and it comes apart. Okay, so this is where we're going to clean the, I'll call it the male post, and this is, so I'll call it the female on the cables themselves. So let's go ahead and do the post. You just stick it down and grind it like that. And the reason we're doing all this is you don't really need that guy. You want good metal-to-metal contact on the posts. And these don't look really bad. Not a whole lot of corrosion at all on them, but why not clean them up? I do this maybe about once a year is enough. But you're going to reduce the energy, the electrons that are trying to get from the battery out to the cable. Okay, that one looks pretty good. We'll go over to this guy. Okay, then we'll grab the cables wherever they went to. So I don't know if you can see this guy going in here, but it is definitely in the shade. Look how clean that is.
It's hard to, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So if I can find where the other one fell to. Okay, and these really aren't that bad of shape.
Of course.
I know, cameraman's car. The next thing is we do our rubber felt thingies. They look like this, my friends. They're only about, what, $1.50 for the two?
Yeah.
Pretty cheap, but these are just little corrosion protectors. Who knows if they really work, but everybody says to use them. Good.
Well, Ricky's garage does it. Owns it.
Okay, so you put the black one on the negative. Some are green. But the red one always goes on the positive. So we've got positive red, negative black. Now the next step is you want to keep corrosion from building up, so you get a little corrosion anti-gel or whatever it's called.
Go grease.
Tear here. Maybe it's tear here in case you're crying. But you just smear some of that right on the top. Just work it out.
Wow, it's red. This is exciting stuff.
So you just kind of smear it around on the top.
And this does what?
This keeps corrosive elements in Earth's atmosphere from causing corrosion. So I wanted to show you the battery disconnect switch. It's a good idea when you're parking your car in the garage or for any length of time to disconnect the battery leads, because these old cars, quite often the electricity goes all the way up into your console, and it's not a good idea. So they have had fires, but you can see the green little device there, and I'm going to be in the shade, but you just unscrew it just a little bit, and now it's all disconnected. Okay, so that's how we do it, and I wanted to show you what one looks like up close. Now we're inside the garage, which obviously for insurance and just common sense you want to keep your classic car in the garage. Okay, I highly recommend that you get one of these. It's called a battery tender, and you plug one of the cables into the wall. But first, what you're going to do in order is it's got these leads on another wire, and you simply clip one around the negative and one around the positive, and then you plug it in. And then what's going to happen, as soon as you plug it in, you can see on the top right there's a red light. It's going to turn on, and it's not a pure trickle charger, but what it does is it keeps the battery level at a certain peak, and then it turns off, and then it brings it back up. So you're not continually pumping current into it. And then the green light down below will come on, and your car's ready. And will sit there with the green light on. And so you will have a good full charge on your battery. So, it's a good idea. They're about 45 bucks. That's the brand name, battery tender. And I use them on all the cars. They're just a great idea. And if you have to park your car outside, of course, you can just run an extension cord out, or just drive your car a lot to keep the battery charged. It's recommended that you drive your car about 30 minutes minimum, because that's the amount of current or voltage you're going to lose just starting the car. No matter how much we take care of our battery, eventually they're going to die. Usually whenever the warranty expires, you can count on it dying, and that's why they have those warranties for 3 or 4 years. But it pays to be protected. because usually a battery will just slowly fade out. You'll have trouble starting it and might get going. But here's a couple things I recommend you just make sure you have in your car. The first one is a charger. It's actually a jump starter, and they're about 30-40 bucks. But you get this little package here, and what it does, okay, it's got fittings. You can actually recharge your USB devices as well. It's got a little flashlight on this one, but it comes with these cables. The cables plug into this gizmo, and you put the clamps on your battery. There are instructions on how to use it, so make sure you follow them. If I recall, you have about 30 seconds to start the car, and you should do it perhaps once more if it doesn't start, but then don't do it again for about a minute. Anyway, I think it's a good idea. If your battery is not that dead, it should charge it and should start it. Okay, but the other thing that I think is mandatory, going to get a little old school here, and that's jumper cables. Jumper cables are very handy. Now, you do have to have another car around, okay, when you're doing this. And there are ways to put them on as far as which goes first, the negative or the positive, but go ahead and read the instructions when you get those. But if your battery's almost dead, you can get a charge to get it going from the other car. So that's your battery maintenance, and that's all we have to say from Rick's Garage. Good luck and happy driving.